Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld. Thanks for stopping by, and just remember, if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like button down below. Also, before we start, take a second to vote in the poll in the description and tell me what your favourite sci-fi FPS franchise is, because I'll be using the results in a video very soon. But anyway, today we're going to be taking a look at a theme loadout inspired by the Dutch Royal Marines. This loadout was suggested by Ryan King about 3 or 4 times, so thanks heaps for the idea, man, and thanks for being so persistent. If any of you other guys want to suggest a theme for an upcoming episode, then feel free to let me know in the comments. But just remember, I don't really have time to check out every idea, so make sure you come up with something fun and unique, and there's a good chance I'll take a look. Now, to kick off, the Dutch Royal Marines are the rapid reaction and expeditionary force of the Netherlands military. In a lot of ways, they have a similar role to the US Marine Corps, but they actually predate this branch by over a century, being formed in 1665. In fact, they were formed only a year after the British Royal Marines, while the two nations were fighting the Second Anglo-Dutch War. Since then, though, these countries have become firm allies, and along with the US Marines, they have what they call a bond of friendship. Compared to their counterparts in the US, though, the Dutch Royal Marines are only about a tenth of the size, with only 2,500 personnel. Also, unlike the USMC, only men are allowed to serve in the Dutch Marines, although women from the Navy are often attached in a support role. The initial training to become a Marine is about 8 months and has an attrition rate comparable to that of many Special Forces units. This means only about 33 to 50% of trainees actually make it into a unit, at which time they gain the right to wear the Marine's dark blue beret. Now, because of their small size and their diverse role, Marine personnel are trained to operate in any environment under any conditions. Many Marines also undertake further training in a specialisation, which can include roles like sniper, medic, pathfinder, or heavy weapon expert. For the most delicate situations, the Dutch Marines even field their own Special Forces units, known as MARSOF. This group is made up of mountain leader, frogmen, and counter-terrorist units, so it basically has the capability to take on just about any type of mission. As well as infantry, the Royal Marines also field a number of vehicles to suit their rapid reaction role, including APCs and landing craft. Just about the only thing they don't field is heavy armour and aircraft, but it's safe to say, apart from this, they've got just about every other role covered. And for this reason, in recent decades, the Dutch Marines have been deployed to support various international task forces all around the world. They've served in basically every conflict the Netherlands has been involved with, which is everywhere from Ethiopia to the Congo to Afghanistan and Iraq. Now, the Dutch Marines have access to basically the standard gear of the Netherlands Army, a lot of which makes an appearance in Battlefield 4. Their standard weapons, though, are the Colt Canada C7 and C8, and they also use the Glock 17 pistol. Unfortunately, we don't have access to these weapons in BF4, but the Colt C7 is basically an M16 and the G18 is just an automatic variant of the G17. And as for the rest of this loadout, well, clearly Ryan knows what I like to play with, so he suggested that I play with the noob tube and the med bags. So what could really go wrong with a loadout like this? Well, as for attachments on the M16, as you can see, I'm using the terrible Elgato scope. I'm also using the muzzle brake, the vert grip and the laser light combo, so all in all, not exactly the ideal choice for a gun like this. On the G18, well, to be honest, I haven't actually changed it from my last loadout, so as you can see, I'm still only using the ghost ring. And the reason for this, like I said last time, is because the Glock is such a boxy gun that it kind of needs at least a ghost ring to be effective. Now, as for how this setup performed in-game, well, I won't go into the G18 and the gadgets because, like I said, what could go wrong? This setup is pretty close to my go-to setup in-game, but as you can see, the L-can is the real nail in the coffin because it's just too big. The gun jumps around way too much to get any benefit from the extra zoom anyway, and the muzzle brake doesn't really do that much to help either. You see, the muzzle brake reduces the kick of the gun, but it also messes up the accuracy, which is basically nerfing what the M16 is best at. As weird as it sounds, the best way to use this gun to get around this particular scope is to try not to zoom in as much as possible. You'd be surprised at how good your hip fire is with a laser sight, and if you can get away without using the scope, then you'll have a much better field of view. If you do need to pop in for a mid to long range shot though, you'll want to stand still and pace your shots out, or else a lot of your shots won't even come close to the target. And that's why this scope is so bad for the M16, because generally you just want to keep firing to keep the target suppressed, and eventually you'll end up getting the kill. Now, the other thing I really didn't like too much about this setup was the offensive perk, because the armor upgrade with the defensive perk is honestly OP. The offensive perk does give you a lot more ammo and grenades to spare though, so if you get lucky you can go on some pretty long kill streaks. The problem is you just can't tank that little bit of extra damage, and you'll find yourself getting one-shotted by snipers and shotguns a lot more. And that's a shame, because I'd like to use the offensive perk a lot more often, but it's clearly just not as good. Apart from these things though, the setup was pretty fun, and the only other thing I'd probably change would be to swap out the G18 for the 93R. That being said though, I say that in just about every video with the G18, and I don't think I need to explain that the 93R is just generally a lot better. And that's the funny thing about this setup, because for a loadout that's so close to being good, it's actually pretty challenging to use. And I guess that just goes to show how each little part matters, but if you do like a challenge, then definitely give this one a go. But anyway guys, that just about wraps up this video, so don't forget to suggest a theme in the comments section below, and as always, if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out the links in the description below if you want to see more of my videos, or if you want to support my channel on Patreon. And until next time, see you later and have a good one.